Let's talk about accountability. Personal accountability is one of the best ways that you can start making progress in your lifestyle change, in your nutrition, in your fitness, and your mindset. As you can see here, I have printed mine to a page, and I also printed them on double-sided because I like to save space. I personally don't bind mine. I don't even cut mine. I just keep them like this, and then once I've used up 4 of them, I just throw it away. But many of our body buddies, they like to cut it, they like to bind it with a coil binding. You can take it to your local print shop, but that's up to you how you choose to do it. They also have small 3-ring binders about this size, or you're welcome to print it full page. So let's talk about, this is like weekly goals, this is week 5, but I'm just showing you, this is the beginning of every single week. So you're going to write your date up here. Notice how I left this open so that you know, it's normal to miss a day, so please don't beat yourself up and just write in the appropriate date. Every week, I prefer you do this on a Sunday. You're going to write a mental discipline goal, a nutrition goal, exercise goal, and then this is your reading assignment for the week, assuming you have not yet read The Power Foods Lifestyle, which, by the way, you can get at powerfoodslifestyle.com. You're also going to plan when you're going to have your indulgence meal. So this is assuming the abstainer approach, but if you're going to be a moderator approach, then you could say daily, and then you could say what meal you're going to have your carbohydrate be a non-strategic carb. If you haven't yet learned about that strategy, please listen to the podcast episode called Are You an Abstainer or a Moderator? So let's go ahead and give you an example of what this looks like. A mental discipline goal could be, I will write 3 triumphs at the end of every day. That will help the brain to focus on everything you're doing well instead of going to bed feeling like yet another day that you didn't get everything accomplished, you weren't perfect, etc. So a nutrition goal, and of course remember we want to be very, very specific. A nutrition goal would be, I will eat veggies with, let's make this realistic, 4 meals per day. Now, of course, Power Foods Lifestyle is 6, but I want to show you this is not an all or nothing thing. Exercise goal. Let's say I'm a 45-year-old woman who has some foot pain and maybe I'm like 30 pounds overweight and I work an office job. Realistically, I could do 30 minutes cardio 3 times this week, plus 1 Joe Fit stretch. That sounds good. That's on my YouTube channel, by the way. Then the reading assignment. So I would look at the reading assignment, say, okay, that's about 20, no, how many pages is that? That's 25 pages. So if I broke that down to 5 pages per day, then I could do that very easily. And that way the reminders would stay fresh on my mind and I would have nutrition on my mind and I would probably be more aware and make better choices. And then I will have my indulgence meal on Saturday for date night, meal 5 and 6 dinner. Now each day you'll have the potential to get 8 points. So total weekly possibility is going to be 56. I'd highly recommend you don't get close to that number just because that's, again, if you're not at that level of compliance, then that could be setting yourself up for some frustration. And so you have to determine what's realistic. And so I personally, depending if I'm tier 3, I'm expecting myself a 52 plus. If I'm in tier 2, I expect myself a 46 plus. If I'm in tier 1, I expect myself a 40 plus. That's just my baseline. Then a reward for reaching my points. I personally love to buy new fitness apparel, socks or a shirt or some pants. You have to decide that. Many women like to ask their husband to watch the kids so they can have a night out with their friends or get their nails done, take a bath. You really have to brainstorm what's right for you because I can't determine that. You have to make it worth it though, and of course we don't want it to be food related. And then recipes and meal prep ideas to try this week. Well, you know, I saw how Christy did this cooking video and she boiled her lentils. So I want to try some lentils and I want to see what kind of recipes I could do. Wraps, I could do salads. I want to see some different ways of how I can incorporate lentils this week. Awesome. And I want to try her chicken lettuce wraps. So that would be a great way to use that. Then your journal entry. Now this part can be difficult if you've never journaled before, but it doesn't have to be. All I would like you to do is think about, where am I at? I am working on a few key principles. Yada, yada, yada. Write down how you're feeling. Write down about your emotions. Write down about the obstacles that are coming up. Write down about your relationship with food. These are just some ideas to get you thinking. Write down about what the benefit of following through is. Okay, so that's an activity you do every single Sunday that sets your intention for the week. Let's now look at a daily. So let's just look here. So let's assume this is the very next day. So I'm going to date it 12/13. This is fun. Quote of the day. If you're a member of Body Buddies World, I have quotes in the mental discipline, nutrition, or exercise section, so you could write that down, or get on trusty little Google, type in motivational quotes, find one that you are particularly moved by. It could be spiritual, fitness, exercise, mindset, business, relationship, you name it. Just something that motivates you. And then I would even, if you're ready for it, take it to the next level and memorize that day. That was a huge part of my initial transformation, is I memorized a quote a day, and that really trained my brain to only focus on what was possible instead of victimizing or feeling like, oh, this is too hard, give up. That wasn't even allowed because those quotes were all in my head. Exercise plan, this should not be spelled out to the T. For instance, I being a gym worker out or trainer, whatever, I would just put like back and buys. Maybe I'm doing a 10-minute hit from Body Buddies World, and that's it. Or you might be doing a Keijo Fit workout. You might be doing a Beachbody workout. You know, I have no problem with that. Whatever your exercise program is, write it down, and then did you follow through? If so, that's going to be 1 point. Water intake, you get a mark off for every quarter gallon. Now, not everybody needs to drink a full gallon. At least try to get yourself to here, which is around 70 ounces. And so if you follow through drinking your water, again, there's another point opportunity. The remaining 6 points come from 6 meals follow through. Now let's assume that you determined 4 or 5 meals is better for your life. And especially as you do Power Foods Lifestyle Academy, you'll be building your ideal nutritional strategy. So whatever that looks like, that's fine. You can determine based on how many meals you're going to be eating, what your daily total would be, multiply that by 7, and then that would be your daily or your weekly possibility of points here. So just do a little bit of math. Now here's the thing. If you haven't seen my video on how to track macros in MyFitnessPal and you feel like you're in a tier 2 or tier 3 that really would help you, then go ahead and find that video. Otherwise, I really don't want you to focus on calories or macronutrients or even how many grams are in things. I want you to start focusing on sources of food. Did you have a protein? Did you have a vegetable? Did you have either a carb or a fat? And I want you to circle, was it a PVC? A PVF. We're working on pairing our nutrients and packaging them in a way that is the best way for our bodies to absorb. So I would just write down, let's say for breakfast, I had a half a cup of egg whites. For my protein, I had spinach and pepper. And then for my fat, I had some avocado. Fantastic. Notice how I'm not getting into the nitty-gritty of numbers. I'm just writing that down. So I would go ahead and fill out the rest of the day. Let's do one more example for you. Meal 4, mid-afternoon. I had a protein powder shake in water. I had some cucumber for my vegetable, and then carb, I had a half cup of berries. Okay, great. So there's a PVC. Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to record how many points I got. I'm going to assume I got all my points because I like to believe in the best and be optimistic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total points. So that way I can see, okay, am I adding up to reach my points goal? And then the triumph of the day was definitely mid-afternoon when I wanted to stop at the gas station for a Diet Dr. Pepper, for a DDP, and I didn't. I stopped to do a gut check. and realized I needed to chill. I was stressing out. Okay, that is how we use the 8-week accountability workbook. You will find this to be such a driver in your life if you will simply commit to it. Now, I know 8 weeks is a long time. I can't tell you how many things like this I have started before and been frustrated because I gave up or forgot to log. Get over it. Like, that's going to happen. And when that happens, you just start on a new page and you be kind to yourself and you say, okay, back to the grindstone. Let's go. And this is a wonderful way to keep yourself focused, keep picking yourself up. Resilience is the name of a lifestyle change. So let's do it. Thank you so much for watching. Here at Body Buddies and the Power Foods Lifestyle, my goal is to empower you with a completely new way of approaching your nutrition, your fitness, and your mindset. Come check out my starter kit over at powerfoodslifestyle.com, where I'm going to give you my book, the audio version of my book. I personally read it, 3 of my recipe books, 6 starter sample meal plans, and the Power Foods list. This is a great place to get started into strategic eating. Also, be sure to check out the Body Buddies podcast and subscribe. There, I will help you bridge the gap between the science of optimality in your nutrition and fitness and the reality of your day-to-day life, emotion, psychology, and being a busy person. So I invite you to come on this learning journey with me. Let me empower you and give you the tactics, the strategy, and the psychology to be able to make some lasting, sustainable shifts in your life, in your body, and the way you feel about yourself.